I'm Becky Streepy from Glue and Glitter, and today we're making OnePot Vegan Penne alla Vodka. This dish is easy to make, it's tomatoey and garlicky. It's this perfect special occasion dinner that doesn't take a ton of time to put together. Before we get to the recipe, let's talk a little bit about OnePot pasta. The way that this kind of a recipe works is that you're actually cooking the sauce and the pasta at the same time in the same pot. The thing to remember about one-pot pasta is that it is all about stirring. During the beginning of the cooking process, you can just stir occasionally, just like you would if you were cooking, pasta in water on the stovetop. Towards the last few minutes of cooking time though, most of that water is going to be absorbed into the pasta or evaporated off. And because you're still cooking your pasta, it won't be quite done yet, but you don't have a ton of liquid, you're going to have to stir pretty frequently. The last couple of minutes, I tend to just stir constantly because otherwise your pasta is going to either burn and stick to the bottom or start sticking to itself, just like if you were cooking in a pot that's too small. I find you get better results if you're very generous with the pot size. Because you're putting all of the sauce ingredients and the pasta and extra cooking water into the pot all at once, you need a lot of room, right? Also, you're going to be stirring a lot, and unless you really love splashing sauce all over your stovetop, it's great to have that extra room just so you can stir without worrying about making a mess. The last thing to know about one-pot pasta is that towards the end of the cooking process, you may need to add a few splashes of extra water. There are a lot of variables going on in this pot, right? Depending on the pasta you use, brand to brand, or even like how old it is, some just are going to soak in more water than others. You also want to think about the tomatoes that you're putting into the pot. They might be more liquidy or less, so you're just going to be compensating at the end with a little splash of water if necessary. Sometimes you don't need the extra water, but it's better to have it on hand, so if you do need it, you can add it quickly and move on with the recipe. Now that we've got those basic do's and don'ts out of the way, let's make some pasta. Start this recipe by sauteing 6 cloves of garlic in a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. The oil obviously is for sauteing the garlic, but it also helps prevent the pasta from sticking to the bottom of the pan later on in the recipe. You can reduce the oil a little bit if you really don't like oil, but I definitely don't recommend omitting it. Once the garlic is nice and brown, add your penne to the pot, then add your vodka, a can of diced tomatoes, 2 cups of water, and a cup of soy or oat milk. Now it's time to simmer and stir. Bring the liquid back to a boil, and then you're going to just simmer until all of that liquid gets absorbed by the pasta or cooked away. As you can see, the liquid is reducing and you're getting a less and less soupy looking sauce. Your pasta is done when it is al dente, the sauce is clinging to it, and it's looking not soupy but also not dry. I always tend to err on the side of a little more liquid rather than a little less. I'd rather have a thinner sauce than have burned pasta sticking to the bottom of my pan. But if you want to roll the dice and let it cook a little longer, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. Now that the pasta and sauce are all done cooking, remove the pan from the heat and then add a little bit more olive oil, a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh parsley, and a couple of tablespoons of nutritional yeast. The nutritional yeast is going to add a little bit of a cheesy flavor to this dish, and it's also going to thicken that sauce up just a little bit more. Now you can season it to taste with salt and add a splash of either a vinegar-based hot sauce or lemon juice. If you like a spicy dish, then hot sauce is the way to go, but if you like things a little bit less spicy or you're cooking for someone who doesn't like spicy food, go with lemon juice. The reason you're adding vinegar-based hot sauce or lemon juice is because of the acid. Either the acid in the vinegar or the citric acid in the lemon juice just brings that tanginess that helps round out the flavor of this dish. Once you have everything seasoned the way you like it, you're ready to serve. I like to keep a little bit of the parsley aside so I can use it as a garnish because nothing feels fancier to me than a garnish. I hope that this video has answered all of your questions about how to make penne alla vodka in one pot. If you have any questions that I didn't address in this video, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm always happy to help. And don't forget to rate and subscribe. Happy cooking!